All right, let's get into the next story. If you're new here, hi, I'm Amy. We're just hanging out for a bit, trying our luck with some case openings on CSGOFAST, while everything runs in the background, and reading a few wild internet stories along the way. And this one is about two sisters and an HOA that tried to tell them they couldn't live in their own house. Here's what happened. The person who wrote this is 21, and her sister is 19. They've lived in the same house their entire lives. Their parents bought it almost 30 years ago, and the family joined the HOA about 15 years back. 5 years ago, their dad passed away. 6 months ago, their mom passed away too. Now the house belongs to the two sisters. And that's when the HOA started showing up at their door. Representatives came by several times saying the house was only allowed to have one single-family household. According to them, a single family meant either one person or a married couple and their unmarried children. When their mom was alive, that counted as one family. But now, the HOA claimed the two sisters counted as two separate households, two single adults, which meant one of them had to move out of their own house. They kept saying they didn't want to take legal action out of respect for their parents, but they would if the sisters didn't follow the rules. The sisters kept asking for a copy of the HOA rules. Every time they were told it would be sent, it never was. Eventually, they managed to get a copy themselves, and the definition of family was bizarre. It included parents, grandparents, children, stepchildren, uncles, aunts, nephews, nieces, and even more distant relatives. But siblings? Not included. There was even a clause saying co-owners couldn't live in the same house unless they qualified as a family under that definition. So the HOA issued a formal violation. At that point, the sisters decided to fight back. They went door to door in their neighborhood with copies of the rule and the violation letter. And they told their neighbors, "Imagine you passed away tomorrow. Would you want your kids forced out of the home you left them?" The reaction was immediate. Neighbors started calling the HOA president, sending emails, and demanding the board stop the situation. 2 weeks later, the sisters received a letter from the HOA, an apology. Apparently, the whole situation was now being described as a mistake. But it didn't end there. The sisters discovered the HOA had been causing problems for other residents too. Now, several neighbors are planning to run for the HOA board to replace the current members. And some residents are even pushing for a vote to dissolve the HOA entirely. Honestly, HOA stories never fail to surprise me. Trying to tell two sisters they can't live in the house they inherited? That's wild. So, I'm curious what you think. Have you ever dealt with an HOA before? Were they actually helpful, or mostly just caused problems? And if you were in the sisters' position, would you have fought it the way they did? Or would you have tried to move just to avoid the stress? Let me know what you think. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you soon.